If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns enter the 2025 season carrying a sense of cautious optimism that has been elusive in recent years. After yet another disappointing finish last year, fans and analysts alike have tempered expectations, questioning whether this team has the necessary pieces to break out of its prolonged mediocrity. Despite the skepticism, insiders like Mary Kay Cabot suggest that the Browns believe they can be competitive this year, provided certain conditions align. Talent alone isn't enough in the NFL, but Cleveland arguably possesses more of it than a typical three-win team, especially when compared to past campaigns. The front office and coaching staff have emphasized that consistency in the turnover battle will be crucial, particularly with Joe Flacco under center. Flacco's gunslinger mentality can generate big plays, but it also carries risk. If the Browns can limit mistakes while creating takeaways on defense, they might find themselves in the playoff conversation, at least on paper, which would be a notable step forward for a team still seeking identity and stability in key positions across the roster. Mary Kay Cabot's insight reveals the Browns' strategic mindset heading into 2025, emphasizing the importance of winning the turnover battle as a cornerstone for competitiveness. According to Cabot, if the quarterback can protect the football consistently, Cleveland has a chance to remain in contention for much of the season. This philosophy reflects a realistic approach, acknowledging both the team's potential and its limitations. The offensive line, healthier than last season, is expected to provide better protection for Flacco, potentially reducing costly turnovers. Meanwhile, the defensive unit must step up to generate takeaways that can swing momentum in tight contests. While many fans focus on individual statistics and highlight real plays, the Browns' leadership understands that consistent execution across multiple facets of the game will ultimately determine success. This balanced focus between offense and defense underscores an awareness of what it takes to compete in a league where margins are razor-thin and one critical mistake can derail a game plan entirely, demonstrating the team's pragmatic yet hopeful outlook for the upcoming campaign. Despite these encouraging signs, the path ahead for the Browns remains daunting, as their early season schedule presents multiple challenges that could define the trajectory of the entire year. Facing high-caliber opponents from the start, Cleveland cannot afford extended losing streaks if it hopes to remain competitive. Early struggles may force coaching staff to recalibrate expectations and perhaps even treat the season as developmental, giving younger players more exposure while managing veteran workloads. Such an approach would be controversial, especially given the limited tolerance for consecutive underwhelming campaigns in the NFL. Players and coaches alike feel the pressure to deliver immediate results, even while developing depth and preparing rookies for larger roles. The team's capacity to stay resilient amid tough matchups, particularly in hostile environments, will test their mental toughness and cohesion. Success in this context requires not only physical talent, but also strategic discipline and adaptability, as every game early in the season could shape morale, public perception, and ultimately the Browns' playoff chances, setting the tone for the entire campaign. Quarterback Joe Flacco's performance is perhaps the single most critical variable for Cleveland's success, as his aggressive style can lead to both spectacular gains and costly errors. Flacco's gunslinger mentality has defined his career, producing moments of brilliance that can inspire teammates while simultaneously creating turnovers that derail drives. For the Browns, managing this duality is essential, as even a few avoidable mistakes in critical situations could swing close games against competitive opponents. The improved offensive line provides optimism that Flacco will have the protection needed to execute consistently, minimizing blindside hits and hurried throws. Nevertheless, no quarterback operates in a vacuum. Supporting skill players, timely routes, and defensive schemes designed to force turnovers all contribute to the larger equation. Flacco's ability to internalize coaching guidance, maintain composure under pressure, and capitalize on opportunities will dictate whether Cleveland transitions from a team that underperforms expectations to one that competes meaningfully in tight contests, which could ultimately determine their standing in the playoff race and broader team narrative for the season. The Browns' defense also faces enormous responsibility in determining the team's overall trajectory, with a particular focus on forcing takeaways to complement offensive efficiency. Historically, Cleveland's defensive units have experienced fluctuating effectiveness, making consistency a key priority in 2025. Takeaways, including interceptions and forced fumbles, can dramatically shift momentum and allow the offense to operate with a shorter field, reducing pressure on Flacco and enhancing scoring opportunities. Defensive coordinators emphasize situational awareness, assignment discipline, and leveraging speed and athleticism to create turnovers without sacrificing fundamental integrity. The balance between aggressive plays and controlled positioning will be essential, especially against high-powered offenses early in the schedule. By cultivating a defense capable of generating these pivotal plays, Cleveland hopes to stay competitive in close matchups, mitigating the impact of inevitable mistakes and injuries. Ultimately, the defense's capacity to influence games beyond mere yardage statistics could define whether this season is remembered as a stepping stone toward legitimacy or another missed opportunity in a franchise striving for relevance in the NFL hierarchy. Another source of optimism stems from the potential impact of rookie contributions, as Cleveland's newcomers have been anticipated to play meaningful roles immediately. Rookies in key positions could inject energy, versatility, and playmaking ability, providing the Browns with much-needed depth across both offense and defense. Developing young talent while maintaining competitiveness is a delicate balancing act, as too much reliance on inexperience can lead to early mistakes. Yet successful integration may accelerate the team's growth trajectory. Coaching staff faces the challenge of blending veteran leadership with rookie enthusiasm, creating an environment where learning occurs in real-game scenarios without jeopardizing wins. If the newcomers meet expectations, they could solidify foundational pieces for future playoff runs, establishing continuity and confidence in player development strategies. Beyond individual performance, rookies also bring intangible benefits like competitiveness in practice, adaptability in schemes, and long-term potential that can shape the team's culture, marking 2025 as possibly more than a transitional season, but as the start of a sustainable competitive framework. The Browns' offensive line improvements offer another tangible reason for cautious optimism this season, as a healthier, more cohesive unit can directly influence both passing and rushing efficiency. The line's ability to protect Flacco and open lanes for running backs affects not only statistics, but also the psychological confidence of the entire offense. Cohesion among offensive linemen requires communication, anticipation, and shared understanding of opponents' tendencies, and success in these areas can mask individual limitations elsewhere. Furthermore, a stable offensive front allows playmakers to operate more freely, increasing the probability of explosive plays that can change game dynamics. For Cleveland, reducing pressures and sacks enhances the team's ability to control time of possession and maintain balanced game flow. When complemented by a disciplined defensive unit capable of creating takeaways, a robust offensive line could serve as the backbone of sustained competitiveness, providing the Browns with a foundation to remain in games even when facing stronger opponents, which is critical for long-term growth and playoff contention hopes. The Browns' coaching staff faces the dual challenge of fostering competitiveness while managing the expectations of a franchise that has seen extended periods of underperformance. Strategic decisions, including when to prioritize player development versus immediate wins, will test both patience and adaptability. The staff must analyze in-game performance, injury trends, and matchup strengths to optimize rotations and play calls, all while maintaining morale and clarity of purpose among players. Decisions made in early season matchups carry disproportionate weight, as falling behind in the standings could trigger the perception of another lost season, even if talent levels are sufficient to compete. Conversely, strong starts could build momentum, instill confidence, and validate off-season adjustments in personnel and strategy. Coaching efficacy will therefore not only be measured by wins and losses, but by the team's ability to remain resilient under pressure, integrate rookies effectively, and minimize critical mistakes, establishing a trajectory that could ultimately define the Browns' identity in 2025 and beyond, shaping both short-term results and long-term planning. Fan sentiment and public perception also weigh heavily on the narrative surrounding Cleveland's season, as expectations fluctuate between skepticism and hopefulness. Analysts scrutinize roster construction, injuries, and performance trends, amplifying the pressure on players and coaches alike. Social media discourse, local media coverage, and national attention magnify every success and failure, creating an environment where psychological resilience becomes as important as physical talent. For a franchise seeking stability, consistent messaging from leadership and visible progress on the field help sustain engagement and optimism. Positive early results can bolster confidence and galvanize the fan base, while setbacks risk rekindling historical narratives of underachievement. Ultimately, Cleveland's ability to navigate public perception while executing its game plan will influence both internal morale and external support. A season that maintains competitiveness, integrates young talent, and avoids prolonged slumps can shift perception from perennial disappointment to an organization capable of contending meaningfully, even without immediate Super Bowl aspirations, reflecting the importance of optics in the NFL ecosystem. Even if the Browns do not emerge as Super Bowl contenders this season, their potential to remain competitive on the playoff bubble carries strategic importance for long-term growth. Being in contention allows coaching staff to test schemes in high-pressure scenarios, evaluate players in meaningful roles, and build a culture of accountability and resilience. Teams that consistently operate near the postseason threshold develop an understanding of what it takes to close out tight games, manage critical situations, and maintain focus across a full schedule. This experiential growth is invaluable for young players and developing leaders, providing lessons that carry into subsequent seasons. For fans, remaining in contention generates excitement and engagement, creating a sense of progress and investment in the organization's trajectory. In short, competitiveness without immediate championship pressure may represent the optimal balance between results-oriented performance and developmental objectives, giving the Browns a blueprint for sustainable improvement that could set the stage for future playoff runs and a stronger organizational identity within the league. Looking at the broader picture, Cleveland's 2025 season could mark a pivotal step in transforming the franchise from inconsistent underachievers into perennial playoff participants. Strategic alignment across coaching, player development, and game day execution will dictate whether incremental improvements translate into meaningful results. Healthy offensive linemen, rookie contributions, disciplined defensive play, and Flacco's ability to balance aggression with efficiency all contribute to this larger puzzle. While the team is unlikely to claim a Super Bowl title this year, remaining competitive, minimizing turnovers, and generating defensive takeaways can keep them in games and create opportunities for critical victories. If executed effectively, these incremental gains can build confidence, attract future talent, and strengthen organizational culture. Ultimately, Cleveland's approach reflects a careful blend of realism and ambition, where short-term competitiveness serves as a foundation for long-term success, signaling to fans and league observers alike that the Browns are serious about evolving into a team capable of sustained relevance in the NFL landscape, setting the tone for multiple seasons ahead. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Cleveland is buzzing with excitement as rumors have officially turned into reality. Alec Pierce has been announced as the latest reinforcement for the Browns. Fans have been speculating about possible acquisitions for weeks, and the sudden appearance of Pierce on the roster has sent social media into a frenzy. Analysts are already dissecting what this means for the team's offensive dynamics, especially considering Pierce's speed and ability to stretch the field. Sources close to the organization hint that this signing wasn't entirely expected, but insiders suggest that the front office had Pierce on their radar for a long time. His arrival is seen as a strategic move, potentially opening up opportunities for the quarterback to explore deeper passes and diversify play calling. Conversations in Cleveland bars and sports forums are already heating up, with fans debating how quickly Pierce will adapt to the team's system and what his presence might do to rival defenses that have struggled in past seasons. The excitement surrounding Pierce isn't just about raw talent, it's about timing. Cleveland's offensive line has been under scrutiny, and integrating a player with Pierce's skill set could be the spark the team has been waiting for. Observers are noting how Pierce's arrival coincides with a series of internal adjustments that suggest the Browns are serious about making a statement this season. Whispered conversations among insiders suggest that Pierce's training regimen and adaptability were key factors in this acquisition, making him a versatile asset in multiple offensive schemes. Some speculate that this signing could also influence the team's draft strategy moving forward, potentially signaling a shift toward a faster, more dynamic aerial attack. Fans are theorizing endlessly, analyzing past game footage and imagining Pierce's first game in the brown and orange jersey, while commentators are painting vivid pictures of deep passes and game-changing plays that could define his rookie season. Sources indicate that the negotiation process for Pierce was unusually swift, raising eyebrows across the league. There's a buzz that other teams were actively pursuing him, yet Cleveland's front office managed to secure a deal that insiders describe as surprisingly favorable. The secrecy surrounding these talks added to the suspense, feeding speculation that Pierce's decision was influenced by more than just salary considerations. Analysts suggest that his motivation might include the opportunity to join a team poised for growth, with a young quarterback who could benefit from Pierce's ability to stretch defenses. Conversations around training facilities hint at a smooth integration plan, with the coaching staff already designing plays tailored to Pierce's strengths. Fans are eagerly awaiting confirmation of Pierce's official debut, imagining how his speed and agility could disrupt opposing defenses and create an entirely new dimension to Cleveland's offensive identity. The chatter in Cleveland isn't limited to the team's strategy. Pierce's personality is also generating headlines. Rumors circulating suggest that he brings a contagious energy to the locker room, potentially transforming the team culture in subtle but meaningful ways. Sources close to the organization describe him as disciplined yet playful, someone who could mesh with both veterans and rookies seamlessly. Analysts have started speculating on how Pierce's presence could impact team morale, suggesting that his enthusiasm might translate into heightened performance across the board. Social media threads are filled with predictions, with fans imagining the kind of camaraderie and competitive spirit he might inject. The narrative forming around Pierce isn't just about football skills. It's about his potential to become a symbol of renewal for a team seeking consistency and explosive potential in a league where every small advantage matters. Insiders hint that Pierce's speed is only one part of the story. His route running and football IQ are equally compelling aspects that reportedly impressed Cleveland scouts. Rumors suggest that he consistently outperformed expectations in both practice and game scenarios during his pre-draft evaluations. Analysts are connecting the dots, suggesting that Pierce's skill set could complement the team's existing playmakers, creating a layered offense that opponents might struggle to predict. The conversation in media circles includes detailed breakdowns of potential formations and creative schemes that Pierce could exploit. Fans are diving into film study, theorizing about how his acceleration and field vision might change the trajectory of games in favor of the Browns. This rumor mill has effectively elevated expectations, with many believing that Pierce could be a game-changer if he adapts quickly to the professional level. Another point of speculation revolves around Pierce's potential role in high-pressure situations. Rumors from credible sources suggest that the coaching staff may rely on him in critical third-down plays and red-zone scenarios, where his agility and speed could be maximized. Analysts are dissecting possible matchups, predicting that Pierce could face double coverage early in the season as opponents attempt to neutralize his impact. Discussions among fans are lively, with theories ranging from him becoming a primary deep threat to serving as a versatile weapon capable of unexpected screen plays and decoy routes. Reports from training camp hint at an enthusiastic reception from teammates, suggesting that Pierce's integration into the Browns' system might be smoother than some skeptics anticipate. The rumor mill continues to feed excitement, with each new whisper adding to the anticipation of seeing Pierce make his first official impact on the field. Speculation extends beyond the field as well, with Pierce's arrival seemingly influencing marketing and fan engagement strategies. Inside sources suggest that the Browns' social media and merchandising teams are preparing campaigns centered around Pierce's dynamic playing style, potentially turning him into a breakout fan favorite. Analysts are commenting on the timing of this announcement, noting that it aligns with strategic efforts to maintain momentum in fan enthusiasm during a crucial part of the offseason. Conversations in sports bars Online forums and community meetups are buzzing with imagined scenarios of Pierce celebrating touchdowns in signature fashion. The narrative forming around him already includes a mix of athletic potential and charismatic appeal, feeding a broader storyline that extends beyond football and into cultural relevance for the Cleveland fan base. Observers are noting that if Pierce succeeds, he could quickly become an iconic figure in the city's sports landscape. Rumors also suggest that Pierce's physical conditioning and off-season preparation played a major role in Cleveland's decision to secure him. Sources indicate that he followed an intensive training regimen, focusing on speed, endurance, and tactical awareness, which impressed team scouts and analysts alike. This preparation is fueling speculation that Pierce could make an immediate impact, avoiding the typical adjustment period for rookies or transfers. Fans are drawing comparisons to past acquisitions, debating whether Pierce has the potential to outperform early expectations. The locker room atmosphere, according to insiders, is already showing signs of optimism, as veteran players reportedly see Pierce as a catalyst for elevating the team's overall offensive performance. These whispers, combined with the strategic planning evident in Cleveland's approach, suggest a calculated move aimed at long-term success rather than short-term hype. A critical aspect of the ongoing chatter revolves around Pierce's potential influence on the quarterback's performance. Analysts suggest that having a player of Pierce's caliber in the receiving corps could dramatically expand passing options and allow for more aggressive play calling. Rumors indicate that early practice sessions have already showcased his ability to create separation and adjust to complex routes, sparking optimism among coaches and commentators. Discussions in fan communities are imagining explosive combinations and clutch moments that could define the upcoming season. Sources close to the team hint that Pierce's presence might also elevate the confidence of the offensive line, knowing that they have a dynamic target to support. The speculation continues to build a narrative that Pierce is not just a new addition, but a strategic linchpin in the Browns' quest for consistency and competitive dominance. Off-field considerations are also fueling the rumor mill, with Pierce reportedly embracing community engagement and media interaction as part of his professional persona. Insiders suggest that his public demeanor, combined with his athletic prowess, could enhance the team's brand while energizing fans. Analysts speculate that his presence might attract new attention to the Browns, potentially impacting ticket sales, broadcast interest, and sponsorship deals. Conversations across sports networks are already drawing parallels between Pierce and other breakout talents who became cultural icons shortly after joining new teams. Fans are theorizing about how his persona could complement on-field achievements, creating a multidimensional presence that enhances the team's identity. The combination of athletic promise and charismatic appeal makes Pierce a compelling figure in both rumor and reality, fueling narratives that extend well beyond traditional sports coverage. Finally, the persistent buzz surrounding Pierce emphasizes the intersection of talent, timing, and strategy in Cleveland's approach to team building. Rumors suggest that this move was carefully calculated, with front office personnel recognizing the opportunity to integrate a fast, intelligent, and versatile player into an evolving offensive framework. Analysts are noting the potential ripple effects, including shifts in play design, defensive preparation, and even locker room hierarchy. Fans continue to speculate, projecting scenarios where Pierce's impact redefines the team's identity and contributes to a new era of Browns football. The chatter is everywhere, from podcasts to Twitter threads, fueling a narrative that feels part rumor, part expectation, and part hopeful prophecy. Whether Pierce will exceed expectations or face typical growing pains, the announcement alone has already sparked a wave of excitement that Cleveland has longed to feel, making this one of the most talked about moves in recent team history. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!